map control.
Two-shot combo from Xpeke brought maybe down to half. And level 11, that's level 2 in that ultimate. There's so much more burst now in that kit. So as soon will also be 11. He's going to have way more damage with his ultimate. It's looking, it's again, very early on, starting to look grim.
Yeah, it's not a good sign for TPA right now, but they have split pushing potential with Stanley. They have a couple of globals to try and get themselves back in, and more importantly, Toys, he actually just bought a Rod of Ages and hit level 11, so that's really a significant thing for him. It's going to give him some damage. He's going to be able to help control the map a little bit, and if they try and dive on him, they might kind of regret it.
So fnatic now, all of them, starting to make their way down here to the bot river because the dragon has now just respawned. Oracle's on Cyanide, clears the way. There are no wars, there is no coverage. Should be a free dragon here for fnatic to extend the gold lead even further to now a 3K lead.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to take back the map control, so I wouldn't be surprised to see fnatic actually clear out all the wards in the jungle. Kha'Zix could actually go in for that blue potentially, bursting down Toys a little bit. But you see Cyanide, he has the oracles, he's going to clear out the wards in the bottom jungle, and then they're going to want to ward just the entire jungle. And then that's going to allow them to pick people off, and they have great pick-off potential to try and get those kills and continue to snowball this game. So TPA, they need to keep vision of fnatic in any way that they can.
Yeah, and TPA is also still a little undecided on where they should defend. They know Reckless is down bot pushing, they know Soaz is going to be up top pushing, and you have the remaining members of fnatic all here pressuring the mid. It's just like the laning phase is still going on.
Yeah, but the issue is with the early kills, the laning phase won't be on very much longer. But Toys, he's able to shut down that mid pretty effectively. He's still able to grab his wraiths, so you know, that's a pretty significant thing for him. So he's going to keep up his farm. He's going to, you know, be able to slow down the game a little bit for them, and that's really significant.
So as hanging around a little bit by the blue spawn area, we may see him go from behind tier 2 and mid. After he takes up those wolves.
He could just leap right over, kill Toys, and then leap right back out.
And that leap is so dangerous. So he's waiting for it too. He's got level 2 in the ultimate. He's got those wings. There's Xpeke with the initiation, trying to pull Toys back. Zyra ult being used, but mission accomplished. They push TPA back. They should be able to secure that tier 2 and mid, but here comes Soaz using the stealth. Karthus ult front loading a little bit more damage, and there's Lil Balls out in front with Shen. Shen will not be a factor in this fight, and there's that burst we were talking about earlier. Doesn't even matter. The Shen shield, worthless now.
Yeah, and Karthus, without being able to get a wall on the team, they don't have that long-range initiation. So Olaf just chasing him down by himself, and he goes down fairly easily, and the burst damage, it was too much for them. So I'm a little bit surprised that Toys actually lived underneath that turret, or that they tried to defend it. So they were really concerned about losing that turret. It would really lose a lot of map control, and it would mean one fight for fnatic would result in a lost inhibitor. But Zyra, when Zyra used the ultimate, it completely zoned TPA off of that turret. So then after that, they were like, okay, some of their cooldowns are down. Let's just try and see what we can force. But they don't have the initiation, so fnatic can just retreat very easily.
fnatic members, they did decide to back, buying up a few nice things for themselves. Diana actually going for the death cap instead of the Zonias. So pure damage, recognizing, hey, burst is pretty good right now. We saw what we did earlier against that Shen shield. It was pretty good. Might as well keep continuing that, and also going for the Magic Pen boots also. And a few wards, can never hurt. Hex Drinker up on Kha'Zix. More wards being cleared up by Cyanide there in the top river. So Kha'Zix, he's got the Hex Drinker, and he's got the Brutalizer. He's got plenty of sustain also in that Vamp Scepter.
Well, and you can tell by going for that Rabadon's build, some more Oracles, yeah, Cyanide's got it. Going for that Rabadon's build, it allows them to burst down Karthus very quickly, which is going to give Soaz the reset, which is what they need. They need to kill Karthus without letting him get into their team. If they kill Karthus away from their team, then that's a really good situation for them. So getting that burst, even though he won't have quite as much survivability, which is why it's a little bit surprising to see that Rabadon's, it's still going to work out very nicely.
Yeah, anyway, he's doing fine with the income. He's still even relatively even towards. Oh, they could now. fnatic, they are slightly split. Cho'Gath has to return back to the mid. So as on Kha'Zix, he's still top lane. They could actually sandwich TPA here right in the mid. everyone right there, they're just all collapsing.
Yeah,
on
Cyanide
TPA.
looking for a rupture.
There's Stanley. He is caught in those vines. Has to dash away. And there's so over on the side. True shot barrage going down. The Azult from Zyra picking up 2-3 members of TPA. Toys will be the first one to go down. And fnatic avoiding the AoE. Here comes the Karthus ult, but not going to do a whole hell of a lot. Soaz does not care. Leaping straight on in to the turret range and leaps right on out. Ekpeke with the dash. Picking up Bebe as well. That is 4 for free. From fnatic.
They absolutely crushed TPA in that fight, and a big part of it was Soaz. If you couldn't see, he actually was coming down from the blue jungle, and he completely zoned 3 people. So he zoned Little Balls, he zoned Stanley, and he zoned Bebe. So all 3 of them, they weren't dealing any damage in that fight, and it left Karthus and Mistake off on an island. And then Soaz jumping in, he gets the quick burst after they were all very low from Ezreal and from Diana and from Zyra as well. So the AoE really sets up those snowball kills.
And if the 4 kills weren't enough, that's 2 more turrets to pile on top of that. And now the gold lead has swung even further with a few extra quarters on the side from all of those wards.
Well, it's a 7K gold lead right now. So, if you are voting, if you're trying to get up those last second points, then, you can maybe change your mind on some things here. But TPA trying to fight back, they need to be able to get Karthus in the middle of fnatic, and they need to be able to keep Bebe safe and constantly attacking. The issue is there's so much pressure from Kha'Zix and Diana that Bebe on Caitlyn, who Caitlyn's usually one of the safest ADs, is threatened. Reckless, he's actually going for the bot. He's going to go after Bebe. Arcane shifting after that red. One more Mystic shot, but Shen trying to turn it around. He backs off at the last second. So the Shen ult, it's been forced out, and that's a serious disadvantage for TPA coming up.
Yeah, and to be completely well, right now, Little Balls are getting caught. Leap from Soaz. More than enough following up the rupture from Cyanide.
Threatened so much all over the map.
TPA can't even place wards right now.
And usually, I was going to say, Caitlyn is one of the safest ADs in the game, but you see in these fights, Bebe's not comfortable sitting up there and attacking because of how much burst damage fnatic has. They can't control their front line.
So fnatic, you got Shogat up there pushing top lane, and the rest of the members are here, still applying pressure to the mid. Little Ball still has 5 more seconds before he comes back in, and the minion wave's just melting. It's just a matter of time before something gives.
Yeah, and now you see kind of just keeping them in their base. So this is completely preventing any farm from TPA. And there's only 3 people mid. Zyra went back to base, Cho'Gath is top, and yet they're scared to engage in people because they have so much mobility, they can just escape or burst someone down. And so they're completely held in their base right now. And actually, Soaz jumping in, trying to get Mistake along with SPK. And so they'll back off, almost getting the kill, but it's actually going to force them off of this base turret.
Yep, and
it drops so quickly.
It's going down so fast, and I underestimate how much damage. So it says just in the spikes alone, that was at this leap spikes, and Bebe was brought down to nearly half. Mid inhibitor should fall here. TPA cannot defend this. They're way too afraid. They've been brought down too low, and they're so afraid of the assassination potential here from fnatic.
Yeah, they know that they're just significantly weaker than fnatic right now. They have a later game team. They aren't able to get deep enough into their builds. There's not enough damage on Karthus or anyone. And fnatic, they just have so much burst that they can't survive through. And now fnatic, Soaz and XPK just teaming up, zoning TPA, making sure they can't come defend this bot turret. They're just going to push this bot turret and then try and do the same thing as they did with their mid and just bully them off of that bot turret. And I'm curious if TPA is just going to be forced to force a fight that they might lose.
Meanwhile, Soaz, Bebe trying to keep the minions from pushing their mid, but that pressure's more enough. XPK pulling back 3 members of TPA, but here comes Toys to help.
They're stalling them.
They are.
XPK and Soaz, they're trying to see if they can get kills, but in the meantime, fnatic's just taking the turret, and it prevents TPA from being able to defend at all. They're just not giving TPA any options.
All of the outer turrets are now gone. Inhibitor down in the mid, and Soaz is actually still in the mid, helping super minions push further on in. He can leap from behind tier 3 without issue if the rest of fnatic decides to go in for a dive. They can. This is the safe play from fnatic. The fact that they're in a position where they can dive.
Yeah, and there's really not an option for TPA to jump on fnatic right now, so they're not able to get the damage that they need. Ezreal clearing the top wave so that he can get that pushing, so that they can just threaten the top turret as well. while they're slowly poking down the bot turret. They want to watch out for that Karthus wall, though. Stanley trying to force it, but he can't even get into him. They're just too safe. Ezreal didn't even have to Arcane Shift.
I think he actually taunted over into that corner of that brick wall, just couldn't quite clear that gap. And even if he did, that would have been a terrible position to be in. Cyanide with the Rupture and the Silence, that could have been enough. He could have been pieced out completely.
Yeah, and now Fnatic, they have a really sizable gold advantage. They want to go buy some of those items. Reckless a little bit low on mana. They're going to back off. They're all going to buy and then just force their way into the base. So all the lanes are pushing. When they get back, top lane should be pushed into the base of TPA, and they can go bot again, or maybe even force a Baron or something, and just force objectives where TPA has to fight. And one ace, that's all it takes. Fnatic is going to be able to win the game and push the Nexus.
Many members of Fnatic have decided to back on out, buy a few things nice for themselves. Cho'Gath with the Aegis BF sword on Kha'Zix.
They're trying to rush this Baron. It's one of their only options. They know that Fnatic just went back, but they actually don't have enough time on it. Karthus has a lot of damage, but they have to back off. I guess they're just checking it to make sure they're not taking it. And so they back off, and they're going to be just forced into their base again. And it's preventing them from farming. So very slowly, Fnatic is just building and building upon their lead. Yeah, and even if TPA did decide to go for the Baron or contest Baron, you still have super minions in the mid pushing. It's still going to be an issue. And by the time when even if you do get Baron, you're going to come back home, and everything's going to be wrecked to pieces. Yeah, no, it's a really no-win situation for TPA right now that they find themselves in. Well, he's a big guy. He wants cupcakes. I mean, come on. Oh, he needs to keep his appetite up. Exactly. So as looking for toys, he might actually go in for this. We'll see if he actually does. He actually, right after they get out of that turret, so as bursting him down, the exhaust and the wall, Fnatic, he might actually go down, but he flashes. He's going to be able to get out of there. He pops his ultimate as well. Yep. And so TPA, they can't engage anyone. They don't have the pick-off potential to get back in this game. Right. So for Soaz to be that aggressive and not go down, that's pretty devastating for TPA. That is one of the few weaknesses of Kha'Zix, though. If you do not get the reset on the leap, if you do not get that kill, assist, or anything, that's it. You are committed to a fight. You really have few other options. He needs XPK with him as his dive buddy so they can secure those kills with that amount of burst. But Soaz has managed to distract TPA down bot lane, clearing the rest of the team to secure the Baron for free. Yeah, and with that Baron buff, it's going to be really dangerous. They can start tanking the turrets. TPA, they just won't have enough poke or anything to wear them down. So TPA, they really need to just hope that Fnatic makes a mistake right now and put themselves in position to capitalize on those mistakes. Getting a Karthus wall, if Fnatic, if they try and press in with some melees to attack the turrets, Karthus wall, pick up some kills, see what you can do. And look at just how much damage the Q from Diana does to Little Balls right now. Caitlyn made a mistake their bottom, which means they've lost their top turret. They can't even defend it. They're going to lose the inhibitor as well. So just losing their entire base without much of a fight. Yeah, TPA knows the only thing they can logically defend right now is the Nexus. At the very least, they will have another turret there to support them. You got top inhibitor now down, and Fnatic still ravaging the base of TPA. There is still the matter of the bot turret and inhib making their way right now. Toys out in front, a few layways here and there, but it's not doing anything really. Zyra with the vines, and you may see a Karthus zoned off from the rest of the team. There is the scream to silence them. Stanley once again not getting a taunt anywhere off of that. And that is the inhib down. That is the pullback from XPK. The Zyra ult popping on all members of TPA. The feast coming on down. Mistake cannot even get to the fountain. All the members of Fnatic are well and healthy. 3 members of TPA are down. The Nexus about to fall. Fnatic has defeated the current world champions and will go on to the grand finals of IPL 5. And that's going to be a rematch of Fnatic and World Elite, and that was a hell of a match earlier. But Fnatic seems to have TPA figured out. TPA didn't lose to anyone this entire tournament except for Fnatic. Fnatic 4-0'd TPA. And they were their only losses the entire tournament, which is a really impressive showing.